Tom Brady just ended himself yesterday. I'm talking about his entire career because his wife just divorced him yesterday. She demanded half of all of his property. However, she was informed that the court stated that her millionaire husband owns nothing. All of his property is registered under his mother's name. Yes, this is going so viral. People are saying that Tom Brady knew his wife was gonna do this the entire time, which that doesn't really make any sense. I'm pretty sure they had kids. It's kind of crazy that she divorces him as, yeah, give me half of all your stuff. Isn't he like close to a billionaire? It's like, oh, I guess I owe all my stuff. Just kidding. I don't own anything and everything is underneath my mother's name. That's the most top G thing I've ever seen. Tom just can't lose. People are showing that her estimated net worth is already 400 million. So I don't know why she demanded that half her property should be given to her. I just think this is absolutely insane. And as you can see, it's going extremely viral right now all over Twitter and the internet. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I thought he had a happy family and all, but apparently not. But he did make a very smart move.
If this is happening to the 1%, what makes you think that yours is going to be any better? Child support is going to be a pretty penny. Tom should send Hakimi a Rolex. This is interesting. Even the top 1% are going through the same situation. We have another person who didn't miss Hakimi's class. He was able to do well when it comes to this subject. He probably saw it coming and decided to follow Hakimi's footsteps and got his assets out of the equation. I wonder what will happen now since technically he owns nothing. She probably will have to give him half of whatever she owns, and this is what will make this story a bit more interesting. Imagine someone who thought they would get 150 million in assets from divorce, only to discover that they will get nothing, but on the flip side, they will have to split whatever they have. This is something she wasn't ready to deal with. Hakimi has changed this game for a lot of men. Even though he was with someone who was also financially well off, he still felt the need to have this plan in place, in case something happened. This is a situation I wouldn't imagine a guy like him would need to worry about since she also has her own money, but it seems like he knew better. He knew something like this could happen, so he decided to be one step ahead of the situation. This is an article that was posted on August 14th, and it's about this topic. Gisele left empty-handed from divorce as Tom Brady property registered under mother's name. Tom Brady's wife wanted half of his assets in their divorce, but the court said that her wealthy husband owned no property. It's all registered under his mother's name. After Gisele Bündchen divorced Tom Brady, she sought to claim half of his significant $300 million fortune. Gisele found out that Tom had transferred all his assets into his mother, Galen Patricia Brady. A Twitter user remarked that moms are really number one in every scenario and pointed out that Tom Brady appeared to be a step ahead in this situation.
I want to speak to the women out there, okay? Now look, you tell me if you think this is fair. I'm 40 years old. I married this woman when I was 33. After only knowing her 7 months, and no, I ain't getting no prenup or none of that, but she didn't have nothing. Me, I had a $1.5 million house in Hoover, Alabama. Me, I had the Mercedes in the driveway. I went to law school. I was the one up studying all them late nights. Didn't even know who this woman was back then, right? Now, you mean to tell me it took me 40 years to make all this, and this person who I've only known for 7 years, won't have of everything it took me 40 years to make? Now, I want to ask all the women, do you think that's fair? Do you think that is fair? Think of me as if I was your daddy or if I was your brother and you saw me studying all them nights. That was me at Emory all them nights studying. I didn't even know this woman. Now she wants half of what it took me 40 years to make.
Isn't he a lawyer? Why didn't he protect his assets with the prenup? So he did it to himself. Didn't study hard enough for that to happen. If a woman wasn't with me during the process, a prenup is guaranteed. But why you didn't get a prenup? It's interesting that most people consult a lawyer seeking advice when it comes to this matter, but this case is a bit different. We have a lawyer who decided to jump into it blindly and now is on TikTok talking about the situation he placed himself in. As a lawyer, he should be the last person to complain about it, as he knows better. It should never happen to him. He probably allowed his feelings speak louder, and that's why he found himself in this type of situation. but it will serve as a lesson. He will use his experience as an example and give his customers better advice. Besides this point, I thought only assets that were acquired during the marriage would be split in case of divorce. I didn't know they could still be eligible to get half of the things their spouse had prior to their relationship.
After only knowing her 7 months, and no, I ain't get no prenup or none of that, but she didn't have nothing.
But why didn't you get a prenup signed? I know she shouldn't be entitled to things you built before your relationship, but I still didn't understand his mindset. Since you know there is a possibility of divorce, wouldn't it be better to do a prenup? Maybe he was blinded by love, but I have to admit that she is a smart woman for being able to pull it off with a lawyer. It says a lot about her ability to get what she wants.
Well, I'm divorced, and I'm here to ask the court for more spousal support. I think $100 a week extra would be fair with all the headaches he's given me and everything like that.
Why do you believe that's fair?
My wages have went down. I'm only working part-time now. He still gets those 2 raises every year.
I cannot grant you spousal maintenance just because he's made an increase from his wages.
Well,
When you all were divorced and you receive half of his 401k, how much was that?
about $250,000.
Okay, well, you know what? I feel like you came here to waste my time because I cannot give you an increase in spousal maintenance just
$50
because
a
you're
week?
asking for it. No, ma'am.
25?
Even $5. The answer is no.
I'm a landlord. I do not raise my rent just because my tenant is starting to do well. Ex-wife did the same thing to me, but asked for child support even though I had custody of our kids. She needs to have a better reason to ask for an increase. Can you imagine wanting an increase in spouse support just because your ex is making a bit more money? Instead of keeping her eyes on what's going on in her ex-partner's life, she should use her time more productively and maybe find another way to increase her income if having more money is her goal. She is already getting a substantial amount, but for some reason, she thinks whatever extra money he is making should also be sent to her. Did you notice she was trying to negotiate at the end? It was all about getting some extra cash.
Lube it on up, darling. This one's gonna get a little deeper than you want it to. I wish all men were like that. No, you don't. You wish one man was like that. The problem is you're looking at all men and then judging one here and there off of all of them. No, there's a lot of men like that out here. A lot of them. The problem is they don't get y'all's attention because y'all look for the wrong shit. Instead of being flashy and blowing money to get your attention and doing all that other shit, they just stick to themselves, take care of their hobbies, take care of their kids. They got a little fat on them, and they might be just a little bit ugly, but the problem is you'll look over all that for that one motherfucker that's really cute and don't give a fuck about you. All they care about is themselves and blowing money for other people to think they were cool or what the fuck ever. And then y'all want to judge the one good man that you need as for all of them. No. Them are the same motherfuckers that'll sleep with you and you'll be upset because they won't do it again, and then they'll go tell their friends like, oh man, that shit was lame and boring. But they forget that it takes two to tango, and if it was boring, well, it's your fault too, Big Daddy, because did you pick her up by the throat and hang her on the wall like a live, laugh, love picture in the kitchen while you ate it? Yeah, I didn't think so. But y'all too busy chasing them motherfuckers.
Well said. There are plenty of men like the one she is referring to, but as always, they are invisible due to modern women's high standards and unrealistic expectations. Their DMs and friend zone are full of those types of men, but they probably aren't tall enough nor make a certain amount of money, and those are the main reasons they usually are not chosen. So they keep dealing with the same small group of men who have a huge pool to choose from, and that's why they usually are the masters of ghosting and rarely commit. Most women think that men in general are doing the same thing, not realizing that only a small percentage of guys have the ability to have that behavior, and they do it because they are Chad. The guys who they claim they want are still waiting for an opportunity, but they are too busy entertaining the top 1%.
So I have a question. Where did you meet your partner? Was it online? Or was it in real life? Do people still meet people in real life? I'm single, as you all know. I'm not actively looking at the minute. I've done the whole online dating thing, and I just think that didn't work for me. I don't know what it was. I just feel like you build up this image of someone in your head, and then they're never what you think they are when you meet them, if that makes sense. So where do people meet in real life? Do they still meet in bars? I don't really go to bars anymore. I used to, but I was in no fit state to meet someone. I was feral back then. Yeah, I think going on from this funeral yesterday, it's kind of made me question things a little bit. Like, my kids aren't getting any younger. They'll soon grow up and leave, and then I'm left on my own. It's a bit of a scary thought. So yeah, where did you meet your partner?
We are still meeting each other in every place she has mentioned, but the main issue with a lot of people is that they are looking for what doesn't exist, and that's why they are struggling in this department. If you want a Superman, it will make the dating process challenging because you will not be able to find such person, as he doesn't exist. There are plenty of men out there, and still, she wasn't able to find one. How is it possible? Were they invisible? Things going to be better for her the day she decides to be more reasonable and understand that she can't find what's only real in her dreams. We know most of them are looking for a single 6-foot Chad making 6 figures who is also childless and doesn't cheat. This is not realistic because the likelihood of finding a guy who meets all those requirements is slim to none.
This is the end of today's video. If you like it, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that.